My message tonight is called Change Your Family Tree. I'm actually talking about the generational curse. Changing your actual genealogy at the foundation, where we're created from. I'll get back to that a little bit. 10 Commandments. The 10 Covenants of God. Written with his finger. Not once, but twice. Any of you remember can you repeat that? The 10 Commandments? Let's say and paraphrase together. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make an image. You shall not take the Lord's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day. Honor your father and mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness. And finally, you shall not covet. But tonight we're going to focus on the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. First, going to Tonight we're going to focus on the first commandment. Let's back up for a moment and talk about what led up to those 2 stone tablets that God handed to Moses on Mount Sinai. The Israelites first witnessed God's miracles from the 10 plagues. And out of those 10 plagues, they witnessed the death of the firstborn. They had to paint the blood of the lamb on the doorposts so that the angel of death would pass over them. They witnessed the parting of the Red Sea so they can make their escape from Pharaoh and Egypt. They also received manna from heaven. I also heard that was also food for the angels. And the text for that, I'm sorry I don't have it memorized, it's Psalm 78, 24 through 25. Had rained down manna on them to eat, and given them of the bread of heaven. Men ate angels' food. He sent them food to the full. I thought it was kind of neat. A little side note there, but. And they also witnessed water pouring from a rock. But even with all these miracles, it wasn't enough. But in Exodus 19:4, you yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you myself. Exodus 19:5, now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, and you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine. All they had to do was obey the commandments. They were a special people to him. We're all special people to him. Then all the people answered and said, all that the Lord has spoken, we will do. You see anything wrong with that? They said, all that the Lord has spoken, we will do. They're not relying on God to help them keep the commandments. They said they're going to do it themselves. Exodus 19:9, and the Lord said to Moses, behold, I come to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you and believe you forever. God, that's not all it takes. It's just as long as they hear him speak to Moses, they'll believe. Watch what happens. There were thunder and lightning, flashes, and a thick cloud upon the mountain, and a very loud trumpet sound, so that all the people trembled. Mount Sinai was completely in smoke, and the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the whole mountain quaked violently. Moses spoke, and God answered with him with thunder. In Exodus 20:19, then they said to Moses, you speak with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. That's not exactly what God had in mind. He wanted them to fear God, but not fear God. But they're scared. I don't know if I was in their shoes, if I was in their place. It might be a little scary. all this lightning and thunder, the earth quaking. I might be a little bit nervous myself. But in Exodus 31:18, when he had finished speaking with him on Mount Sinai, he gave Moses the 2 tablets of the testimony, tablets of stone written by the finger of God. But watch what happens with the people. And it's taking a little bit too long. By this time, it was about 40 days that Moses was up on the mountain with God. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain, the people said to Aaron, "Come, make us a god who will go before us. As for this Moses, we do not know what has become of him." So what do you think Aaron replies to this? And Aaron said to them, "Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." And received the gold from their hand and made a molded calf. That's not something I expected out of Aaron. He was Moses' brother. God let him speak for Moses in front of Pharaoh. I kind of expect this out of the people, not from Aaron. But Exodus 32:4, then they said, "This is your God, O Israel. They brought you out of the land of Egypt." They had the audacity to make this golden calf their God. And say it was all of Israel's God. Not just their God, but all of Israel's God. And then how does Aaron respond to Moses when he comes back down from the mountain? "Do not let anger, my Lord, become hot. You know the people that they are set on evil." He immediately places the blame on them. He could have said no. He could have said, "No, look at all the things you went through from Egypt. Look how God took you out of there, let you escape from Egypt and under the rule of Pharaoh." But no, he went instead and made this golden calf for them. He made a false god for them. Back to verse 3, "You shall have no other gods before me," God says. "You shall not make for yourself any idol or any likeness of what is in the heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the water under the earth." Verse 5, "You shall not worship them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God." What 2 words stand out in verse 5? Worship and serve. They're both synonymous with one another. You worship to serve, and serving is worship. And then he goes to say, God is a jealous God. He doesn't want anything before him. He wants to be first. He wants to be first in your marriage. He wants to be first in your life. He wants to be first when you wake up in the morning. He wants to be first for you when you're tying your shoes. They didn't have as many distractions as we do now in modern times. But they still failed at having faith in their own God. But they heard speak. They even had, when Moses came down from the mountain, his face was shining. They had all the evidence of God. But today we have television distracting us, computers, the internet, work. I've seen people workaholics, spend their life just working away. Video games, and even day-to-day family life can take away from God. But how is the first commandment disobeyed today? I almost kind of explained it right there, but we're going to go into more detail. Yeah. But let me ask you this. What is your God? What is your golden calf? Is your God television? I like to watch TV. That's one of those great inventions that we can get our current events from it. We can watch even godly movies and shows. But Satan had a different plan for the television. In 2006, USA Today stated that the average home has more TVs than people, according to Nielsen Media Research. And also in the internet, has made it even more ways than possible. You don't even need cable TV anymore. You ever heard of cutting the cable? We cut the cable. But then there's all these apps to watch TV. Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, Apple TV, Sling, and there's a ton more, and YouTube. In 2006, half American homes have 3 or more TVs, and only 19% have just one. In 1975, 57% of homes had only a single set, and 11% had 3 or more, said Nielsen. So much time is spent watching TV. According to statisticbrain.com, the average time spent watching television in the United States is 5 hours, and the average person will have spent 9 years watching TV in their life. Staggering. 9 years, can imagine. As it all adds up, day to day. The American Psychiatric Association states that by the age of 18, a U.S. youth will have seen 16,000 simulated murders and 20,000 acts of violence. And that doesn't even mention all the sex acts that are in TV now. And the Bible says we need to guard our hearts, guard our minds. We're watching garbage on TV. I'm guilty of it. I do the same thing. Sometimes I've got to catch myself and wonder, what am I watching? And if I can't show it to my kid, I shouldn't be watching it. Is your God money and stuff? There's all these people just trying to keep up the Joneses, trying to buy cars and boats with payments they can't afford, houses with mortgages that they can't keep up with. Just trying to collect and accumulate as much money as they can with portfolios for their retirement. Nothing wrong with having a retirement, a good pension, but to make it their God and their only focus. You ever heard of the guy Dave Ramsey? Author of Total Money Makeover? He says that, I don't want to get this wrong, so. What slide am I on? I can't see it. Here it is, I'm sorry. So Dave Ramsey says, and I quote, "I have heard him say this, we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like." And I actually heard him say that. I listen to his radio program every day. And also, Rabbi Jeff has even had a class for 16 weeks. He has a Financial Peace University. I highly recommend going through it if you haven't. It's changed our lives. In Proverbs 22:7, the rich ruler over the poor, and a borrower is slave to the lender. Second Timothy 3:2, for men will be lovers of themselves and lovers of money. Now you've heard that money is the root of all evil. That was misquoted. That's so many times misquoted. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils, for which some have strayed from the faith in their greediness. Money is not evil. It's how you use it. It's obsessing over the money and making it first over God. And I said, there's nothing wrong with having money. There's nothing wrong with being rich as long as you manage it in a godly manner. Matthew 6:19 and 20. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither nor moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. Friends, my treasure is in heaven. It's not here on this earth. And my car has a lot of miles on it. It's old. It's a 97 Escort, but it gets me from point A to B. Who cares what anybody thinks? It gets me to work. I have food on the table. I can provide for my family. I have a great job. God gives me exactly what I need. And He gives you exactly what you need as well. 1 Timothy 6:17 and 19. Command those who are rich in this present age not to be haughty, nor to trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God who gives us richly all things to enjoy. Let them do good, that they will be rich in good works, ready to give, willing to share, storing up for themselves a good foundation for the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life. In Luke 12:48, from everyone who has been given much, much will be required. So if he gives you a lot of money, he might require you to spread his gospel more, maybe give more to the ministry. Maybe you start your own ministry. And it's not free to do all these things. It's not free to spread the gospel around the world. There's so many places we have not gone before. And maybe God has made me rich for a purpose. Maybe He already knows my heart. I mean, sometimes I say, oh, maybe I don't play the lottery, but let's say, just for example, I win the lottery. Maybe I'll say, I might help needy kids and families. But maybe once I get that money, I'm not going to do it. He knows exactly what my heart is. I said He gives me exactly what I need. I don't want or need of anything. Matthew 25:29, for to everyone who has more shall be given, and he who will have an abundance, but from the one who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. I mean, if you don't use what you have, you'll lose it. He'll take it away. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. And this is the big one. What about drugs, alcohol, smoking? Is that your God? And I kind of lumped them all in the same thing. We'll go through one by one. Now, in this society today, smoking is so normal. Actually, smoking is actually getting a little less normal. But alcohol is still really normal to do. People rationalize it. But the tobacco industry, you might not see any more billboards anymore, any commercials on TV. But the internet is rampant with the commercials of the tobacco industry. They still spend millions of dollars each year on cigarettes and advertising promotions. I used to smoke. I quit back in 2002 in March. I never looked back. It was one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my life, was to quit smoking. I tried it 5 times. It wasn't until I actually relied on God I actually was able to quit. According to the American Lung Association, cigarette smoking is the leading cause of preventable disease and death in the United States, accounting for more than 480,000 deaths every year, or 1 of every 5 deaths. Note that's preventable. You don't have to smoke. But the number one thing is, don't start at all, and you won't have to try to quit. Now, Truth, when they started their very successful campaign back in 1999, it's been very successful with their commercials. And you see these old decrepit men in the wheelchairs, and they can barely talk. But since then, smoking has declined. From their campaign alone, 21 of every 100 adults, and in 2005, to about 15 of every 100 adults in 2015. Alcohol. Everybody tries to rationalize alcohol. I only do it on occasion. I only do it socially. I only do it every now and then. I did the same thing. As a refreshed Christian, doing unchristianly things. As a believer, I was still doing this stuff. I was rationalizing. No, I don't do that. I'm not addicted to it. I had to stop. It was hurting my family. It's hurting my body. Everybody says, well, I drink wine. It's good for you. It might have some benefits. If I can tell you that the alcohol in wine, the benefits, what am I trying to say? Right. The benefits of grape juice outweigh the benefits of wine. There's so much negativity in wine alone, and there's grape juice. The Mayo Clinic found that new research studies suggest that red and purple grape juices are rich in health-protecting antioxidants which provide the same heart benefits of red wine. It reduces the risk of blood clots, cholesterol. It prevents damage to blood vessels in your heart. Helps maintain healthy blood pressure. 1 Thessalonians 5:8, let us be sober, having put on the breastplate of faith and love, and as a helmet, the hope of salvation. 2 Timothy 4:5, but you be sober in all things, endure hardship, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry. 1 Peter 4:7, the end of all things is near, therefore be of sound judgment and sober spirit of the purpose of prayer. I'm beginning to see a pattern here. 1 Peter 5:8, be of sober spirit, be on alert. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. I think that one right there is the most important one. The devil is just waiting for us. You just take that one drink to cloud your judgment, to do something you don't normally do. And it says, like a roaring lion, he's going to seek someone to devour. And all these from the New Testament. People say, oh, that's just Old Testament. It doesn't count. There's even more than this in the New Testament. It says, stay sober, be alert. What are the effects of alcohol? Alcohol has been linked to depression, anxiety, violent behavior, car accidents, suicide, and domestic violence. What's the effects on the brain? Temporary amnesia. I can't speak for myself, but what about those nights you've been so drunk but you can't remember anything the night before? I'm sure none of you, all of you haven't been Christians all your life. That's happened to me. I haven't been Christian all my whole life, so. And if it goes on long enough, you develop something called the Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. Which is, let me get to it. Is a memory impairing, vision and speech affecting, seizure causing disorder. You won't be able to form new memories, and you'll mumble involuntarily, and your eyes will twitch. Who wants that? I certainly don't. What effects on it does it have on the liver? And that's what you hear most of all, liver. Cirrhosis of the liver. The one above is the healthy liver. One on the bottom, that gross one, that's kind of reddish brown with bumps all over it, has cirrhosis. What it does to the liver, it prevents it from creating new cells, and it damages the liver so badly it actually can't produce insulin. And then you end up having, what's the word I forget? Yeah, diabetes, I'm sorry. And eventually, if it goes on long enough, you'll die from it. What effect on it does it have on the breasts? Drinking alcohol actually increases estrogen levels in the body, which also affects getting increased breast cancer. I just lost my mom last year, and she wasn't a drinker, though. That's kind of irrelevant to drinking, but she had breast cancer. What about the pancreas? The common cause for the pancreas is pancreatitis, which is inflammation of the pancreas, and it is a major risk factor for pancreatic cancer. Drinking also impairs the pancreas' ability to produce insulin to lead to diabetes. I think that is reversed from the last slide. What about the heart? You get how do you pronounce that word? Thank you. Myocarditis, arrhythmia, raised blood pressure, risk of heart attack, hypertension, raised cholesterol, stroke. And last one was stroke. I mean, if the other ones didn't kill you, these might.
Or maybe one of them.
Now, what about the central nervous system? You probably haven't even thought about that. You get slurred speech, blurred vision, decreased reaction time, impaired memory, cell damage, and neuropathy. Now what about drugs? That's common in the household. And so are cigarettes with the nicotine. It's still a drug. Cocaine use. I'll start with the hard ones. The Department of Health and Human Services said that in 2014, over 900,000 Americans over age 11 struggled with addiction to overcome. That was age 11. I couldn't imagine starting at age 11 using coke. I couldn't imagine my daughter doing that. Heroin use, another form of cocaine, except you shoot it up straight in your vein. The American Society of Addiction Medicine reports that in 2015, approximately 586,000 Americans aged 12 and older struggle with addiction to heroin. Not much older than 11. 12 years old, no. What about prescription drug use? That's common in the household. We all have those in our medicine cabinets. I have prescription drugs from my doctor, but they're also abused. The Department of Health and Human Services reports that the most common types of psychotherapeutic drugs abused in 2013 were pain relievers, tranquilizers, stimulants, and sedatives, and in that order. Pain relievers were the most common cause of abuse use disorder among prescription drugs. The American Society of Addiction Medicine publishes that over 2 million Americans over the age of 11 struggled with an opioid pain reliever in 2014. Age 11. Struggling with opioids. And then Michael Jackson just died just recently. It was a year or two ago from opioid overdose prescribed by his doctor. Of marijuana use. That's a hot topic of these days. Now, I personally, in my own opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong medically. But I always want to take it one step further and make it recreational. There's where we have a problem. Because supposedly the medical marijuana, you're not supposed to be able to get high on it. It's supposed to be just a very low dose of it. But to make it recreational, they have all kinds of problems in Colorado right now. I even have some friends who smoke that, and they say, oh, I can drive better when I'm high. Who says so? I've been in the car with them, they've done it. I want to just jump out. But the National Institute of Drug Abuse says almost 6% of full-time college students in the United States smoked marijuana daily in 2014. It is. That's very conservative. This is more than triple the number of daily smokers 20 years prior. According to the National Survey on Drug Use on Health, the majority of people struggling on marijuana addiction in 2014 were between the ages of 12 and 25. And I know a lot of baby boomers that still can't. They say, yo, you can't get addicted from it. They're still smoking it, so tell me you can't get addicted to marijuana. About the babies born, addicted to drugs. There was a 500% increase in the last 5 years. One baby is born addicted every hour in the U.S. 13,539 babies are born with neonatal abstinence syndrome each year. So how do they get addicted? When the mothers use opioid-based painkillers, heroin, or morphine during pregnancy, the child becomes addicted in utero and subsequently is born addicted. They don't even have a chance. Not a chance at all. And these mothers, they may love God, but being addicted to drugs is a hard thing. And they're not putting God first. They're putting the drugs first.
I worked in a place that had cocaine babies, and it is heartbreaking to work with those kids. They have no emotion.
It was enough just to see video and documentary about it, them just sitting there shaking for hours. The baby then suffers withdrawal symptoms, and the drug supply, once provided by the mother disappears. 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20. Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and that you are not your own. For you have been bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body. We've been bought with a price. How can we glorify our bodies if we're putting this junk in our bodies? Not specifically you. It's talking about anybody. I was doing it, not knowing what I was doing to myself. How can the Spirit of God live within us if we're drinking alcohol or smoking pot or what about the internet? What about social media? Is that your God? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, let's just name a couple of them. My wife and I went to a seminar about it. There's tons more I've never even heard of that our kids are hiding from us. But that's a whole other topic on its own. But Facebook alone is the number one. As of March 2017, this is recent, this is of this year, there were 1.94 billion, billion with a B, monthly active Facebook users, and they're adding 500,000 new users every day. And 6 new profiles are added every second. The average number of friends is between 200 and 338. Friends that don't even know you. And who cares? Who cares about your virtual friends? They don't really care about you. I have some real friends on there that I've grown up with high school. But most of them, I think I actually have that many too. I have around 200 something friends. Most I don't even pay attention to. And what about internet pornography? It's gripping not just this country, but this entire world. The devil knows what he's doing with the internet. Something that made the encyclopedia obsolete. The internet where you can see why you're sick, or you can order pizza. You can Skype and talk to friends across the world. But the devil had different plans for this. Every second, $3,075.64 is being spent on pornography. The porn industry generates about $13 billion each year in the United States. Every second, 558 internet users are viewing pornography. And it's not just the men. 1/3 of porn viewers are women. Every 39 minutes, a new porn video is being created in the United States. About 200,000 Americans are porn addicts. How's porn affecting their families? According to the National Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families, in 2010, 47% of families in the United States reported that pornography is a problem in their home. Pornography use increases the marital infidelity rate by more than 300%. 40% of porn addicts lose their spouses, 50% suffer considerable financial losses, and about 1/3 lose their jobs. How's it affecting our youth? 9 out of 10 boys and 6 out of 10 girls have been exposed to pornography before the age of 18. The average age of first exposure is about 11 years old. My mom thought it was okay to go ahead and buy me pornography. She thought it would maybe lessen my I didn't have an addiction then, but lessen my wanting to see women. It turned into a full-blown addiction for me. I finally gained victory through Yeshua. And if you know anybody who's going through this, may not be you personally, maybe somebody you know, a family member, a friend. This is a real addiction, and it's tearing apart our family. I almost lost my marriage. What about professed believers? The leaders in the church. 50% of Christian men and 20% of Christian women say that they are addicted to pornography. And the most popular day of the week for viewing porn is on Sunday. Patrick Means, author of Men's Secret Wars, reveals that 63% of pastors surveyed confirm that they are struggling with sexual addiction or sexual compulsion, including but not limited to the use of pornography. That's our church and temple leaders. We're at the pulpit, preaching not to do this, and they're at home doing this themselves. And it is a hard addiction to get over. It took me years and years and years. And I still pray about it every day, every minute. Matthew 5:29, if your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you, for it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. So break those chains of the generational curse. Stop making excuses. That's hereditary. I can't help it. I was born this way. And what is it to die to sin? Being immersed, doesn't it represent dying to yourself and coming up a new creation? We can break that generational curse. I hear so many times, I just can't help it. God made me this way. But you can break those chains to bondage to sin. You don't have to be that tree that's all wilted and dying. And just look up. Reach for God's hand. He wants you. You are His children. And if you have faith, you can look like this tree by standing by the water. Fully green, healthy. Jeremiah 17:8. And I'll close with this statement. For the will be like a tree planted by the water, that extends its roots by a stream, and it will not fear when the heat comes, but its leaves will be green. So if you know anybody that's struggling, if you're struggling, if you've had these past sins and still struggling with it, I only named just a couple of them. There's so many more. And this sermon could go on for 2 hours. I could go on this for 3 weeks speaking about different topics on the very same addictions. If you need prayer, I'm available. You can call me. You can call a rabbi. We'll pray with you. We'll come to your house if you need prayer. If you need counseling. I can witness to it. I'm a good counselor for this. I had to go through it myself. My wife had to go through it with me. It's not fun. It's not something I'm proud of. I just let you know you're not alone. And I'm not alone. Yeshua is right here with us. There's nobody judging you. I'm not judging you. We only have one judge, and that's in heaven. And we have a Savior who's in heaven, who's mediating for us, who is a high priest, who has gone through all these temptations that we have gone through. There's not one that we can say that He has not gone through. So I thank Yeshua for saving me. So if you know anybody that's going through some sort of pain right now, addictions, alcoholism, even if they're not addicted to it, but they're still doing it, they're just saying it's okay to do. It's just society, making it normal. Now they're trying to legalize pot and make it normal. If you have a relative, if you have a friend, a coworker. In fact, my boss says, he's a smoker for many years. I'm addicted, but I can just stop anytime I want. It's just all in my mind. You just say, I'll stop and I'll stop. Or else he tried it for a week and he's right back to it. So if you're in one of these groups, if you want to see the glory of God manifest within you, if you want to see heaven, if you want to see those streets paved with gold, just stop the addiction. Let somebody know that they can get help. Help is just a phone call away. I just kind of remind me of a funny commercial or charter. If you can't get help somewhere. But help is right there. And his name is Yeshua. He's our Lord and Savior. So if God is speaking to you right now, actually I just want everybody to stand. They know there's somebody in your life somewhere. I just want to pray with the entire congregation. Heavenly Father, Lord, creator of this universe, you've created me, you've created each and every one of us. Lord, you know our hearts, you know our minds. You know what we do behind closed doors. Not every one of us are addicts here. Not every one of us here are struggling, but we know somebody that is. I want to lift those people up to you, Lord. I want to lay that at the foot of the cross. For you have already paid the price for us. And all you have to do is just reach out your hand and reach for God. He is there for you, waiting for you. He won't ask to come in. He'll patiently wait for you. He patiently waited for me for many years. And I thank Yeshua for that, for waiting for me, for saving me, for saving each and one of you. The devil has a grip on this world, but he knows his time is near. It is coming to a close. So he's trying everything possible to bring everybody down with him, as many as he can. If he can take a third of the angels, what more can he do to us? Oh Lord, you're an awesome God, and you're bigger than anybody's sins. And there's nothing that you cannot give us victory over. I thank you for your salvation and your grace and your holiness. And you call every one of us to be holy because you're holy. In Yeshua's name I pray. Amen.